What's up, Sagittarius, and welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having an amazing week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, thank you for your subscriptions, your likes, your shares, keeping that channel growing. And for those of you who are new, I'm happy your higher self has brought you here. You're in for an amazing journey. Now, what I'm going to be doing is a tarot card reading for the week of October 23rd through the 29th. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, okay? So, with that being said, let's get into this thing. Your space has been cleansed. The gems are vibing. We're ready. I'm going to be pulling 15 cards. They're going to be in 5 groups of 3. The middle group is going to represent the nature of your problem. The upper left and upper right hand corner are going to be some possible future outcomes you might be thinking about. The bottom left is going to represent some perspectives you might be considering in relationship to the nature of the problem. And then the bottom right is going to be whatever messages your higher self would like you to know. And in case you all were curious, I'm using Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. The art on these cards are super dope, so I'll make sure to show you those all throughout. But with that being said, higher self, what do we have in store for Sagittarius this week? Ooh, let's try saying that 10 times fast. Let me get these cards pulled, and then we'll jump right into it. Alrighty. Okay, let me get these cards pulled, and we'll get at it. Okay. Alright. Oh, let's flip you over. Alright. So, Sagittarius, for the cards I pulled for the nature of your problem is the 10 of Cups, and the cards that came along with it are the Hanged Man and the 8 of Wands. So, for the nature of your problem this week, I feel like we're looking for that abundance, but I feel like more so that, like, what fills you up emotionally, and really I feel like that's the word, fulfillment. What are you going to get the most out of really either what you're doing, maybe we're trying to get the most out of our relationships, the most out of our work, but I do really feel like, we're trying to get to that where we're satisfied, and whether that be satisfied with ourselves or, something that we're doing. I feel like that is the nature of your problem, and it's got you, and which is not a bad problem to have, looking for that fulfillment. But I do feel like for some of you, it is calling upon you to really do some introspective work. With the Hanged Man, this is a card of redemption through sacrifice, new perspectives, really kind of one of my meditation cards, but in the sense of like, maybe you've been kind of going at this, trying to find it from like every avenue, that or, you're trying to like, been trying the same thing, maybe expecting different results. And that's kind of where the Hanged Man comes in. It's just like, hey, we're trying to force this thing, and the universe is just like, all right, buddy, let's go ahead. I'm going to have to hang you from this unk, and you're going to have to think about what you've done. It's just I feel like it's just a card to, take time and pause, because one way that I'm kind of interpreting this reading with really this combination of cards, with the 8 of Wands here, the 8 of Wands can represent very electric energy. It's one of your cards. It's Mercury and Sagittarius. And I feel like, maybe for some of you, you were either being pulled in every different direction when your rainbow is just right there. 10 of Cups is just right there. But, we're going every which way trying to get to that 10 of Cups. Maybe trying to get 10 of Cups all over the place. But either way, I feel like for some of you, either you were coming at this too fast, trying to get to this and not, trying to maybe take shortcuts along the way to get to this thing, and that's not working out. That, or, maybe we're taking this time, for some of you, or for, so for some others, while we're contemplating what is fulfilling us, once you get to that, that realization, that new perspective that comes into light, I do feel like things are going to come in fast for you, because this is what the Eight of Wands is about. Overall, it's just a very electric energy, swiftness, the arrival of news. So depending on, take that as it resonates, but I do feel like ultimately that would be the way to go about it. If this is something that you've been thinking about, contemplating how to get to this where you're feeling fulfillment and feeling fulfilled in your life, really take that time. And, I don't think that I don't feel like this has to be like a very, as punishing as this looks. The Hanged Man, it can be if you want it to be. That's I feel like with him, if you want to take the long way and really get the most out of your lesson, absolutely. The Hanged Man, and myself included, I'll hang right there with you until you're ready to come down. But, I feel like too, it's one of those things, all really just sometimes the Hanged Man wants is just to think about it from a different view. And it can be just that simple, and then things are just going to start rocketing in. All these arrows are going to lead to that rainbow. So, take that as it resonates. But yeah, I won't stay too long in this. So hopefully that I want all of you to resonate with that. But hopefully at least some of you, that message is making sense. Now, since we're talking about that clarity, and I like that both of these guys are here. So, for some future options, for some of you, I like both of these future options. But this one, I feel like kind of ties in nicely with this Hanged Man situation. So, we have the Tower here, the Knight of Disc, and the Prince of Disc. Now, with the Tower, the Tower is, I know how it looks. The Tower can be absolutely scary. I feel like when a Tower moment pops up, people are like, ah! Calm down, it's okay. When the Tower pops up, that's what the Tower wants. It wants that initial response, that panicked response. Because, see, that's what all these figures are doing. They're like, oh shit, look at this mount that's breathing fire. We can't go out the exit. Crap, the thing's toppling over. We're going to have to jump. It's mad chaos. But that's if you get wrapped up in this, That's if we're just Hanged Man. We're just keep Hangman. Then it's like, what? The universe is just like, well, fine. I'm gonna have to topple everything down because this isn't working. But it's for your benefit. The Tower's not just not there just to destroy everything you have. The Tower is there to provide you clarity. We want you to get out of this. I need to stop talking about this guy like this, little snake figure like this. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to represent a sun around his head, but to me that looks like it's like an exclamation point. He looks surprised in this. That's what I get from that, like that sound effect from when you get in the proximity of a monster, that kind of effect. But we want less of that reactive energy, and we want more proactive dove energy. We want to get that clarity so that you can see the Tower moment for what it actually is. Tower moments are there to show us that, it's really to end, put an end to old ways of thinking and to welcome in a new, to see the growth that comes from shedding this skin. Yeah, you got a lot of transformative energy here. I like that. But more so with this, see, I don't know if you can hear that siren, but that's what that's what the Tower wants. It wants you to, it's kind of like, no, even better. It's kind of like ringing an alarm of just like, hey, shit's gotten a little stale. I'm just going to go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and wipe this, but see the growth that comes from it. Really get that. And I feel like once you see that, your Ten of Cups is lying underneath that rubble. You just got to be aware of it. Now, with the Knight of Disc here, the Knight of Disc, or really the Knights in general, depending on the direction that they're facing, they can represent the coming or going of energy. And he was facing away from you, and I feel like this is that signifies you going out with this Knight of Cups or Knight of Disc energy and going out and growing from this Tower. And and really, I feel like you're really kind of coming into yourself, because really you got both the Knight and the Prince of Disc. And these both figures, I feel like, really, I kind of like to think that you were here. We were, the Prince of Disc. I like him. He's a really cool figure. You know, he's my card of like patience, perseverance. You know, it's one of those. My catchphrase for him is if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I think that's very appropriate with this tower moment. But part way two, if I had to say anything negative about him, you know, is that sometimes he can maybe be a little stuck in his ways, be a little stubborn. And that might be why some of us are stuck in this hanged man moment, because we've been a little stubborn, been going about something, didn't want to change our ways, so now we had to throw a tower moment on the thing. But look at what's coming out of this. You know, you got this Knight of Disc energy, which is pretty much just, it's the Prince of Disc leveled up. You know, he's got this confidence. You know, he's in charge of this. He's got this whole amber fields in this background. His shield is radiating. He's in command of his domain. And even so much so that his horse looks like it's even growing in the ground. He's a very grounded figure. You know, he's not bothered by tower moments. He is, you know, this is the friend that you want when shit is going tits up. That's exactly who I want. So bet when I got a tower moment coming my way, Sag, I'm probably going to hit you up. But that's where the Knight of Disc is. I feel like with some of you in this future, we're leveling up. You know, we're learning a lot from this. You know, and I really feel like it's once you take the most out of this tower moment, it's going to. You're gonna really benefit from this. You're gonna be planting those fields and getting that 10 of Cups. You know, really and I feel like you're gonna be getting fulfillment with your own hands. You know, one of those things. You know, because he's very much invested in what he's doing. He's going when he's in it. He's in it. He's putting his whole heart, soul, everything with this Knight of Disc. So I'm excited, really, to see the growth that you're going to get from this tower moment, Sagittarius, because I tell you, I was just telling Virgo, you know, I want to see emperors and knights of disc going about, you know, just making this world just a better place. So let's keep that energy going strong. But let me move on to this other future option here. So I mean, I would say for others, but it's almost, these are very kind of similar energies here. So with, some other future options, you have the Chariot here, the Moon, and the Four of Wands. Now, with the Chariot, this is a card of victory. You know, I feel like this is, you know, we're trying to get to that victory. The only thing with the Chariot that it's, you know, sometimes, you know, with the success that can be brought, it could be success, you know, that victory, but it may not be enduring. You know, and that could be for that some of you who I said were kind of rushing this things, kind of going at this going with this Eight of Wands with like this antsy kind of energy, you know, this kind of like forcing things to happen. You know, I feel like that's not what the Chariot's about. He's about like long-term victory. You know, when he's done, he's done. Because the thing with the Chariot in this deck I've noticed compared to others is that usually the Chariot is like we're getting ready to go off somewhere. We're not they're usually getting to the destination. This figure, he's already here. You know, he's turned his Chariot into a throne, and we're meditating on our victory. So I feel like that's where where we're ending, but it requires patience. And what does a Knight of Disc have? A Knight of Disc, he's very patient. And the nice thing too is this isn't a gender specific reading, so this applies to all of you. The Knight of Disc is very patient. Same with the Prince of Disc. You were patient beforehand, but now your level of prudence is just off the chain. And so, you know, that's where I feel like here it's just like when in relationship to this nature your problem. It's just like we don't want just like short-term victories. We want a victory that's going to last. And I feel like that's going to come once we get out of this moon phase here. The moon is about deceptions, illusions, you know, just things that we tell ourselves, you know, even kind of asking us to journey into the unknown. You know, when you look at this gate, it can look rather intimidating. You see these Anubis figures and it's like, I don't think I'm gonna fuck with those guys. But if you look beyond here, the moon is inviting us, you know, and even though it's like a crescent moon here, I like to think of that, you know, you look at it like, oh, well, it's not a full moon. Why would I only go to like a crescent moon? Well, I feel like that's two, hang there with me. You think of the dark part of the moon that you see, and I'd like to think of that's the uncertainty. There's a promise of a full moon here, but you got to walk through that gate to get there. You can't be, this is asking you to use that courage, to journey into the unknown, to be okay with uncertainty, and to not, and to realize that all these fears that we tell ourselves, what if this, blah blah blah, that, that they are just that. They're only, the illusions only have as much power over us as we give them. And the thing with the moon too, this, I feel like it calls upon us for to do like some voluntary change. So if this is something, once you realize that this is way more inviting than it should, take that leap, go on that leap of faith. This moon could be this new perspective that we were looking for. Now it's manifested in front of you. Walk through it. Go in that journey with your head held high, so that we can get to this completion. Because that's exactly what this Four of Wands is. It's like coming to rest. Now your energies have, we've hit a goal here. Now we're getting one step closer to that Ten of Cups. And I feel like that's with all this energy here too. It's just like, take that time, really be with yourself. But once you see the end of these illusions and all of that coming to an end, I really do feel like some really great stuff is going to be coming for you on the horizon. I really do think you're going to embrace this Chariot. I'm excited. I'm super excited. So you should be as well. All right, how's that feeling? Feeling good on the future? Yeah, let's move on to this bottom left corner here. So with some perspectives, you might be thinking about, we have the Ten of Wands here, the Seven of Discs, and the Four of Cups. So, with this Seven of Wands, some perspectives that we're thinking about. I feel like Ten of Wands is what we definitely don't want Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands, I feel like, calls upon us when we are being destructive with our energy. There are times where I feel like, when I think of like feelings of like frustration, anger, things of that nature, those are very, very hot, destructive energies. And they can oppress, they can take, something that, it can really take your whole day and just flip it off. Oops. Sorry about that loud noise. It can do just that. Ten of Wands is your microphone falling on the ground. And we don't want that. This is very destructive, very oppressive, repressed energy. And we're trying to get through that, because that's definitely going to get in. We want to take these cups and we want to douse that energy. We want to kind of assuage this Ten of Wands energy. And it could be, you might be feeling this while we're in here, because it's like forcing you to sit, because I get with like, Sagittarius, this is just a generalization, there's the thing is that, Sagittarius likes to be on the move, where you're going, and this is another one of your cards. So some of you might have strong Sagittarius in your chart, but, bad jokes aside, I feel like this is really got you feeling like, well, Justin, I want to go. Like, I want to go, and well, if I can't do this one thing, then I'm gonna set everything on fire. No, we're not doing that. Let's not do that, because this doesn't lead to Seven of Wands or Seven of Discs. But I guess it could, because Seven of Discs is about it just in general. It's really about kind of like failure in the sense of like unmet goals. It's very unreliable energy. But I feel like when the Seven of Discs pops up, it calls us to not give up. It's one of those things, whether it be this like kind of repressed energy, I feel like it's just like, stay with it. I get it. Being with this can definitely suck sometimes, excuse me. But just don't give up. This is Saturn and Taurus. This is one of Taurus's cards, and I feel like this is like Saturn. When Saturn pops up, it's always like there to test the signs, to kind of bring out that negative aspect. out of the sign, and really make sure that you really want what you want. And how hard are you going? How what are you willing to show me that you want it, and that you really want this thing? Because I feel like we say that we're wanting things all the time, but our actions don't follow through. And I do feel like, with the Seven of Wands, it's, if we had some things in the past, maybe it's time this could be a card to, maybe we're channeling our energy in the wrong place. Maybe you have some things in the past that maybe you liked, but you had to give up because maybe it wasn't going to support you at the time, maybe blah, 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 whatever that reason is. It could be another time too to maybe redirect some of that energy back into something, approach something old with a new perspective, because then maybe this failure could become a, succeed in a way that you hadn't even planned. And what, I like that this Four of Cups is here too, because this is my card of like, not taking things for granted. It represents like this, it's like the seed of decay in your abundance. It's one of those things you see it. It's something that used to shine so bright, or that you used to hold in such esteem, has just become just another luxury. Just become just one of those things. Like, it's cool, but like, meh. It's the Four of Cups is very strange energy. It's like you love this thing, but there's this anxiety with it. Like, you only kind of love it, but like, ooh, look at this other new thing. There's a better version of this thing. Like, you don't appreciate it like you should. So I feel like with some things to think about, for some of you, this might be calling upon you, or you might be thinking about maybe digging up some of these these past quote unquote failures, and starting something back up, or maybe even approaching at it from a different angle, so that it can get back to being something that can fulfill you again. Because sometimes too, if things don't work out, if it doesn't come to us easy, we'll give up on them, when it's really those things that are going to give us the fulfillment that we want. It's just, if we had put in just like maybe an extra another week or two of work, it would have been, this Seven of Discs would have been a Ten of Cups. But that's fine. But overall, I am feeling with this energy that something to consider. A good way to possibly assuage this Ten of Wands energy. I really do feel like just kind of look back. I know what I was going to say, because last thing on the Seven of Discs here, I wanted to bring about the fact that sometimes when it comes to projects that have failed, we look at those things and it's just like, well, you know what, I didn't really like this thing anyway. Let's say if it didn't work out like you had planned. And when really that's not the fact, it's just something that we're telling ourselves, we're making this, whatever that Seven of Disc thing is, the enemy, and it's like, well, I didn't like whatever anyway, it wasn't going to make me any money, blah, blah, blah. But was it going to make you happy? Because believe me, when you're doing something that fulfills you, the universe is going to do everything in its power to make sure that you have all the resources you need to do that thing that you love. But, it's really just kind of like, while we're in that hanged man state, really thinking about that. What are some things that you have been taking for granted? What's a gift that you might have thrown on the, set aside to the wayside? And maybe it's time to dig up some of these old things, and just to see. You'll trust your instincts. You'll definitely know if you're calling. If it's like you're calling, you'll feel it. Don't force it. Okay. Don't force it like I'm trying to force this stuff on here, which I don't think I'm going to do that. We're going to move on to some messages from your higher self. So yeah, we're moving on. But hopefully that resonates with you. Hopefully that resonates with all of you. But I definitely wanted to resonate with at least some of you. Now, with what your future self would like you to know. Oh, you know what? I should have just turned it over to your higher self, because your higher self puts it so eloquently. Your higher self wants you to know that with Three of Wands, Queen of Swords, and some death. Oh, and maybe another ambulance. Ooh. Sorry, give that one sec. Hopefully you can't hear that, but just so you understand why I'm stopping. Okay. Perks of living in the city. Now, back to this Three of Wands energy. The Three of Wands is about, it's, for me, first and foremost, it's like a realization of hope. You know, what better thing you need than in a hanged man moment than some hope. But it also is to, I feel like it's calling upon you to think about once you've gotten out of this hanged man energy, you've realized your hope, where are you going to channel that energy now? You know, where is it? Are you going to, you know, what do you hold virtuous to you? You know, what is, again, what is going to be, what's going to get you fulfilled? You know, what's going to give you the most good, you know, that you can make the most positive impact, you know, with the energy that you have. You know, we want to take this 10 of Wands and we want to pour all of that into this 3 of Wands energy. And really, can you imagine that? You know, you really take all that repressed, destructive energy and then you channel that into something beautiful, to something where we're building again. We're not destroying anymore. Now we're not, you know, bringing yourself down. You know, now we're just like, we're feeding into something that we love, you know, and that it's providing not just good for ourselves, but hopefully too good for others, you know. So that's what I'm getting with this 3 of Wands energy. That's what I feel like partway what your higher self wants you to know. And I feel like through this, you're going to get that Queen of Swords clarity. The Queen of Swords, literally, her in her description is the liberator of the mind. And you see here, if you didn't believe her, she brought ahead. The Queen of Swords, for me, of the queens, she's my no bullshit card. She sees through it and she's not taking it. If you come at her with some nonsense, she's going to serve it back up hot and fresh. Because when you think about, she's sitting on a cloud or a throne of clouds. She doesn't have time for things to be weighing her down. If she's just got this 10 of Wands, 7 of disc energy weighing her down, her ass is down, and she's too dignified for that. And as are you, Sagittarius. And I feel like that's what she's reminding you here. You know, once you've gotten that clarity, found that clarity through this 3 of Wands energy, it's going to lead, honestly, into this beautiful transformation. The Death card is just that, and how appropriate that you get this during Scorpio season, because it's a great time for that. You know, this is all, you know, the veil between the spirit and the physical world is thinnest. You know, this is a good time to just harness some really good transformative energy and just like invest in yourself and really get that clarity. And because again, you know, this is a really good math equation. All of this definitely can equate to that. 3 of Wands plus Queen of Swords plus Death absolutely equals 10 of Cups. You know, it's just how we're getting there. You know, let me go ahead and I think we can go ahead and shift back over Sagittarius. Oh, maybe. Hey, so yes, to kind of bring this thing home, I do really feel like for a lot of you, and this is exciting. I'm really pumped for you. This is a very transformative week for you, and it probably will go on a little bit longer. You know, take as long as you need. Don't rush. Don't feel like if you haven't transformed in a week, like, shit, Justin, what do? I haven't transformed. What's going to happen? Am I not going to get my 10 of Cups? Absolutely, you're going to get your 10 of Cups. Absolutely. Give it the time that it needs. You know, you can't rush a hanged man. You can't rush a tower. You can't rush death. All 3 of these cards are here, but we're all trying to get to that same thing. We're all trying to transform you into a better person, to a better being than you were before you came to this video. So, yeah, really, I feel like take this time, you know, maybe when you can, you know, I'm not sure how everyone's environment's like, but when you can, take some time for yourself and really just take a few just to like, okay, where am I at? You know, how am I feeling? You know, it's maybe even write some stuff down, you know, maybe write some goals, you know, maybe figure out where you want to see yourself in like the next week, next month, you know, even we can just kind of see it through just this season, you know, but taking those steps in the present will definitely help you, you know, get ready for your future. You know, get this 10 of Cups energy to get to that Chariot. You know, to channel that. Hold on, channel that Knight of Disc energy. You know, to get that stability again. To get that That's what I want for you this week. I will, and however long your transformation comes, and I'm excited. Let me know how that turns out. I definitely want to hear all the positive things, and you know what, even some of the challenges that you came up with during this, and keep that in mind too. Once you're done with this transformation, when it helps. It helps us be more compassionate to someone else who is also going through this situation. So it's just like, yo, I just went through this. No, you're gonna be okay. What I found helped me was X, Y, and Z. While I'm actually thinking about that, for some of you, if you've been feeling this kind of frazzle and this real frustration this week, and keep in mind before I say this isn't medical advice. You see, I can barely shuffle, so I'm definitely not a doctor. But one thing that I found when my energy gets like that, just like that, really kind of frazzled, because man, sometimes I think I was telling you I had trouble with my camera. I was hot for like a minute, until it's like, okay, hold on, calm down. I need to call for help. I need to call an adult, But another thing too, chamomile tea, whether it's loose leaf or in a satchel, it helps in a way. The smell, the taste is just like, it's just like a little calm in every sip. So that's just something too. If you find that your nerve ends are just a little fried, might be something to help you along with too. All right. Okay. Now on to Celestial News Weekly. This is going to be hard doing all these over dramatic introductions, but you know what? If you rise up to the challenge to get here, so can I. Now, with the news, busy one this week. So the next four are for today. So grab something to stabilize yourself. Saturn goes direct, and you know what? Ooh, that's perfect. Saturn's going direct. And that might be why we're feeling this stuff here. These fears of, this fear of failure, this feeling of oppressed energy. That's what Saturn going direct does. It brings up fears, puts on pressure, but it's doing it with the sense of, asking you to, work hard, to get that self-discipline so that you can achieve this Knight of Disc mastery, that you really, because that's all Saturn really wants from you. I feel like Saturn gets this rep of just like, it's just kind of like I'm not sure who good cop would be in the planets, but Saturn I feel like is definitely trying to be bad cop, but in the best way, because it just wants you to grow at the end of it. It really wants you to be a boss, not to lose that motivation. So that's ultimately, if you think about Saturn, really it's just like, Saturn is a cheerleader, but just a very, maybe slightly aggressive, but the intentions are good. Next bit of news. We can lump these two kind of things in together. Venus and the Sun are entering Scorpio. I was like, what season are we in? Scorpio. It's entering Scorpio, and with Venus entering Scorpio, it's kind of like a time for meaningful relationships. And really, this really could be too, this time. This could really be some time to get in touch with yourself, to really get into, to dig into the depths that is you, Sagittarius, and really kind of form maybe reestablish that bond with yourself. Maybe you've kind of gotten a little disconnected, and kind of get back in touch with your higher self. See the messages that this isn't the message, but see the messages that your higher self is trying to tell you. I don't know where. Oh, here we go. Because it's a mess over here. But bringing that deep and meaningful relationship to yourself, because and that's perfect too with not perfect, depending on who you ask. With the Sun entering Scorpio, this is kind of like digging beneath the surface and pulling out any truths for transformation. So this is, I feel like this again, with both of those things happening, and really, let me talk. But I'll get to the third thing in a second. But I really feel like it's going to be a really good time to get to know yourself again. if you've gotten out of touch, and to really just kind of check in and, you know, find out again, what do you hold dear to you? You know, what is your Three of Wands? You know, what's going to get you your Ten of Cups? Perfect time. Scorpio season. Gotta love it. New one in the mix. I think I forgot to mention this in the last one. It's fine, not your problem. So Juno is going direct. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Juno, Juno is one of the 4 major asteroids. It's Juno, Pallas, Ceres, and there's another one, Vesta. That's the 4th one. But they all represent like different aspects of the feminine spirit. And with Juno going direct, you know, it's like a time of like integrating like all the insights that you know, during this, because you're in a really reflective time, Sag. I told you, didn't I say I was going to stop calling you Sag? I'm going to stop calling you that at some point. I don't know why that's becoming a thing. Unless you like it, then I'll keep it. But this is a good time to kind of strengthen your closest relationships, and who's closer than yourself? You know, really strengthening that relationship, and then go out and expand that. You know, strengthen your relationships outside of you. But definitely take that time to learn from this moment here, and to apply that, and then just because I really feel like you're growing into this beautiful lotus, because there's lotuses all over these pictures, so that's what you are, you beautiful lotus you. Okay, next thing, keep this weirdness moving. On the 25th is going to be a partial solar eclipse, but it's a new moon solar eclipse that's partial. And solar eclipses in general kind of bring about new beginnings, unexpected changes. But overall, this is a time to focus on all the I love that you're here. To focus on all the positive traits that come in Scorpio season. You know, that passion, resourcefulness, that depth, perceptivity, and, you know, how to incorporate that in your lives. You know, I really do feel like this is that time. This is going to be a really rich time for some of you. I want it to be rich for all of you again. But, you know, for those who are resonating with this is going to be a rich time for you to really kind of just get back in touch with that. And also, man, these notes, I don't know who wrote these notes, but also with the new moon's going to be conjunct with Venus as well, and this could bring up matters of love, relationship, and self-worth. And you know what? We're going to talk about loving ourselves. We're going to focus on the relationship with ourselves and talk about our self-worth, because you are worth so much. 10 of Cups. Well, you're really, if I had like 100 of Cups, you would be the 100 of Cups. But this is what I'm working with. Okay, 2 more things. On the 28th, the Jupiter retrograde goes into Pisces. And all that means is just like expanding our awareness of our spirituality and our compassion. And this season is built for you, Sagittarius. This is, you know, because what better thing something that you're really going to need through all this transformative stuff is definitely some compassion. Big, mad compassion for yourself. You know, I feel like it's easy. Well, I won't say it's easier to show compassion for others, but I do feel like sometimes you can show compassion quicker to others than you can for yourself. So definitely take this time, show a little loving for yourself. And then lastly, on the 29th of this month, Mercury enters Scorpio. Scorpio's throwing a big old party and everyone's invited. And with Mercury showing up in the mix, it's kind of a time to talk about difficult issues regarding relationships, money, morale, anything like that's like taboo. You know, this is going to be a good time to address those problems as well. So, whew. A lot for the news there, but I really do feel like a lot of this stuff is going to help you through this transformative time, Sagittarius. So, I really hope that it does. So let's go ahead and get your surprise card pulled so I can get you out of here. Oh, and I don't remember. Did I tell you to like, share, subscribe? If I didn't, like, share, subscribe, and I think I got so excited to get to the news. And for a broader picture, Because you might need a little, might need a bigger picture, going through this transformative state. Check your moon, check your rising. And then, we've already checked our Mercury and our Venus. Let's check our Jupiter this week, really kind of see, it's like I've been telling you, was this the top card? Yeah. But like I've been, kind of telling people, it's like, the more you get to know yourself, the easier I feel like it is that this journey becomes. So let's do the surprise card. Nice. Nice. Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups. Let me tell you what it means instead of putting it in your face. Ace of Cups is, this is that fulfillment. This is the seed. This is the seed that we're planting for this Ten of Cups. The aces in general are the root power of each element. And cups representing water. Water is dealing with emotional matters. This is the time. Fill that cup. Invest in your emotional state. Because, man, once you do, what better thing to do than this transformative period? Because that's what I am seeing when I saw all these cards. I was like, oh, there's something great gonna come out of that. Ace of Cups, baby. So know that this is, you're not going through these periods for just cause, just for shits. No, you're gonna get some really good growth from this. It's, just a little patience, because that leveling up is coming. So, all right, Sagittarius, please enjoy the rest of your week. Keep the spirits high. Let's keep raising that vibration, and I will catch you on the next one. Later.